this review, we have the Transformers Legacy United Leader Class Soundwave. So we've we've had this mold many times. We'll do some comparisons. I have quite a few of the variations of this figure, but Hasbro re-released him again. He's got some extra cassettes that he comes with. I believe these two guys are different. We'll check out Ravage and see whether Ravage is different or not. And there may be some general color variations here, but I feel like this is mainly a figure to tide us over until an eventual 86 Studio Series 86 Soundwave. And then just trying to imagine like how are they going to improve on it. Is it going to be a new mold? Hopefully it's not going to just be this guy in different colors again. So kind of looking forward to checking this out and seeing like what the big deal is and how this is different. So some nice artwork on the front. You can see all the cassettes in there, and there is a little baggie down in there, I guess with the weapons and whatnot. You get some nice artwork on the side, although this like rendering does not match this toy. So I don't know who this is. I mean it's the character, but it's not the character. Like he doesn't have the arm kibble and all that stuff that this guy has. On this side, we've got the Legacy United poster. On the bottom, we've got UPC, if you want to see that. And then on the back, shows off that we have 4 items here. We have a different variation of Rumble. We'll take a look at the other version that's come out. We got Buzzsaw, and I think this is the one and only issue of Buzzsaw in the Earth mode, I guess. And then we got a Ravage, and I think Ravage is painted a little different. So let's go ahead and get this guy out of the package. Okay, so here he is on the card. You do have a little baggie there. There is nothing in the back. He will come with a transformation booklet and the little legal sheet of paper that they always come with. So here's our Soundwave, Ravage, Buzzsaw, Rumble, and this is what's in the bag. It's basically everything, all the weapons. All right, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and get these guys into robot mode. These feet are really hard to get out. Looking at him, these are definitely toy colors. So I guess that's what the big thing is with this release. Okay, just gonna put his weapons on his back for now. Okay, don't quite remember how to transform Ravage, but he is a pretty simple figure, so I think we'll figure it out. My only problem is I'm having a hard time pulling the pieces out. Having to use a spludger to get in there. This is such a goofy design for Ravage. Like these big, thick pieces on the side are just probably not the best way to deal with that figure, but this mold is pretty fun to transform though. Okay. And then we got the pile drivers. We got this weird thing. And then we've got Soundwave's guns. Okay. So let's get into comparisons. Because I imagine most people have had some version of this figure before. I know availability has been weird, minus the original Siege release. Okay, so let's talk about this guy. Let's get these out of the way for the moment. I'm gonna put him here for a second. This is this is Netflix Soundwave. This is the Siege mold, but this was a re-release that came out in the first iteration of Legacy. So the first, year, first season of Legacy. So they took that Siege mold that had all the, you know, damage and, scuff marks and stuff, and they gave us a clean version. So this is what the mold originally looked like. So you'll notice, this guy had these circles on the knees. The basically the remold tried to make him look more in line with the G1 figure, but they kept all this panel work and greeble looking stuff on the forearms, which isn't really a thing for Soundwave. They got rid of this whole spaceship motif, but because they kept the arms, you still had these little weird things hanging off the back. And then they gave us the whole tape deck thing, so you can kind of tell they designed this, and honestly they did a lot of the Autobots and Decepticons like this, but they designed these Cybertronian molds with remolds uh baked into the figure. So eventually we get this version, and he's more Earth-like. He transforms into a cassette, and along the way we get the clean version in Legacy. So you know big thing is this guy's got yellow eyes, and these earth mode ones have the red eyes. So moving forward, these two are pretty comparable. There are some big differences. The I guess mainly around the cassette door, we've got yellow paint. On the new version, we have gold or simulated gold. There's also trim around the front of the guns and red trim on the forearm, where this one does not have that. The plastic, the gray plastic is a slightly different color, but it's not that big of a difference. But another thing is that the gray paint on here, like especially the head, is darker, and this one is lighter, as if this is attempting to be more cartoon focused. So those are some differences there. So let's take him to the side, and then we've got the Takara release, and the Takara release is kind of crazy. So Takara added some red to the shoulders. Takara does have the gold around the cassette door. Takara's got the stripe and also painted the inside of the cannon. And then they painted the forearms and the feet with this silvery plastic, silvery paint. The buttons are also kind of silver. So yet a different look, different paint scheme. This one's probably the odd man out. It's a little weird having the silver on Soundwave because that's never been a thing. On the mouth plate and the little vents on the side, it's also the same silver paint. So I guess they were trying their best to make this, premium as possible. And I didn't notice before, but the nozzle here has also got that silver paint on it. So that's the big difference with that one. And we did get laser beaks. So I think these iterations are pretty similar. There might be some very minor differences just because of like, production run, but they pretty much are the same laser beak. Okay. And then let's talk about these weird dudes. So we got cartoon rumble, excuse me, cartoon frenzy, cartoon rumble. Now we have toy rumble, and yeah, it's really just the color of the plastic. I thought the paint apps were different, but they're not. They're pretty much the same paint apps, but you just got this bright purple, almost pastel purple and blue over here, and over here you got these darker purple and blue accents there. So there you have that. And then lastly, let's look at this Ravage. You can already tell that there are some differences. The limbs are different colors. If I have a better time transforming this one. think I'm transforming his legs wrong, but you get the idea. So uh, this was Netflix, and you can see that they gave him this gray neck. Don't know why they did that. The newer version painted his teeth. The old version has silver eyes. The new version has yellow eyes. You can see the limbs are different. Black limbs here, silver limbs there. The set paint markings are identical, completely identical. So those are the differences between those two guys. So many differences, all very subtle. Um, I think the main thing is if for some reason you didn't get these guys, this is your chance to have a version of Soundwave. They are messing things up a little bit by having this be the only way you can get Buzzsaw. So if you want Buzzsaw, you're gonna end up buying this guy even if you have these other ones. So, you know, that's already, double dipping. And then, another incentive figure is this Rumble with this color scheme. So I do think that's cool, and I'm curious if they're gonna release him single. Maybe this is a sign that they're not gonna do that. And just think about it. Let's say they do eventually make an 86 Soundwave. Let's say he's a completely different mold. Are they going to end up making a toy version variant? It's just they're milking this guy a lot. I don't know why. They've milked him like just as much as maybe Optimus. I kind of feel like Megatron hasn't been reissued as much as the Soundwave has. So maybe they've got some data that says like Soundwave is very popular, and I I can understand why that would possibly be. So yeah, that's my take on it. If you have one of these already, maybe you don't need this guy. But if you're a completist, if you want a buzzsaw, if you're like, hey, that's a cool Rumble, I don't have him, you're going to end up getting this guy. So, and he is different, even though it's slight. He is different than all these other guys. So, um, there's that. So that's the review. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, tune into more videos coming up. And if you haven't done so, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thank you.